So let us see the water scarcity. Water scarcity is the major factor uh, which involves and it is a one of the it is one of the fundamental requirements of any living organisms in the world. What is water scarcity? Water scarcity is the lack of freshwater resources to meet the standard water demand. Water scarcity can also be caused by droughts, lack of rainfall, or pollution. So these factors, that is droughts, lack of rainfall, or pollution, mainly depend on the local environment conditions. So in some places the droughts are playing major role in water scarcity. In some places the lack of rainfall, and some places, especially in urban areas or cities, major cities, the water scarcity is only due to the pollution. Current situation of the world. On all continents, at least 1 month out of every year, and more than 1.2 billion people lack the access to the clean drinking water. So this is the current situation and scenario of the world for this water concern. So there is a survey telling the United Nations FAO states that by 2025, 1.9 billion people will be living in countries or regions with absolute water scarcity. It was a huge, it is a huge strength. It is a huge strength. The strength of people will be living in countries or regions with absolute water scarcity. 2/3 of world's population will face water scarcity. About 2/3 of world's population will face water scarcity. 780 million people lack access to clean water, and 884 million people lack access to safe drinking water. In 20th century, population grew 3-folds, but water scarcity grew 6-folds. Yes, next let us see the causes of water scarcity. The first one is demand and usage. In case of domestic, 30% of rural population lack access to drinking water. Let us take in agriculture, 90% of natural sources used. In industry, water is important input. Any processing in the production stages, any items which is to be processing, it should be involving the water requirement. So without water, it is not possible to process in the manufacturing stage of any items. Next, let us discuss about the sources. So in the surface water, only 48% of rainfall ends up in Indian rivers. Only 18% can be used. We see that in case of surface water, only 40% of rainfall ends up in Indian rivers. Among it, only 18% can be used. So what about remaining 30%? Simply it is dilated into sea. That is, the river is joined with sea, and therefore the water is disposing into the sea. Next, in groundwater, 82% goes to irrigation and agriculture purposes. 18% only is divided between domestic and industrial purposes. Next, let us see the causes of water scarcity. The first one is climate change, and the second one is population explosion, and third one is pollution. So these three are major factors, and which causing the water scarcity. So effects. So due to water scarcity, what are the effects that we are facing? The first one is waterborne disease. You see that the Himalayan Times, November 21, 2007, uh, waterborne disease killed 13,000 kids a year. Why? What is the reason behind? The root cause of these casualties, equivalent to 65 plane crashes, is lack of toilets in the homes of these children. As many as 30,000 children die every year in our country because of waterborne disease. These deaths can be these deaths can be curbed by building a toilet in every household. The government and non-governmental organizations have not made enough efforts towards this end, said on that day Umesh Pandey, coordinator of the Nepal chapter of the water. Next, you see that loss of organisms. You see that loss of organisms. So because of this water scarcity, because most of the organisms mainly depend on water. They need water to live. They need water uh, to have its nutrients, like plants and any other organisms, and aquatic life lives. So those all are affected by this water scarcity. Then you see that loss of wetlands. So because of the water scarcity, we lost lot of wetlands. Wetlands are the main requirements to balance the ecosystem. And let us have a map. So in this, states with water scarcity in India. So the locations those shaded by yellow, which shows the water scarcity cities, state hit by water scarcity. In somewhere only are having the sufficient water in Indian states. You see that Kerala, Karnataka, and Orissa, then all northeast state, then the apex of the Himalayan parts only having sufficient water, whereas all other states in India are majorly affected by the water scarcity. Yes. So these are the things that is happening in India. You see that countries with water scarcity in the globe level, that is world level, you see that the pale blue, which indicates the little or no water scarcity. Yes. So therefore South America, North America, and the some part of the Asia and Australia, so these all are having sufficient water. There is no scarcity, water scarcity, whereas somewhere in the pale blue, so dark blue involves the little or no water scarcity, and the pale blue or some gray color, which states that gray color states that there was not estimated so far the water scarcity. Then the orange color indicates approaching physical water scarcity. Then red is physical water scarcity available. Then the yellow is economic water scarcity. These are some of the schematic indication of water scarcity in the world level. Then population and fresh water. You see that percent of world's water resource and the population. We just have a ratio of the water resources and to population, and it should be multiplied with 100 to obtain the percentile. In Asia it is having 36%, but percent world's water resources it is having only 36%, but the population is about 60.5%. So there is in lag about 24.5%. In Africa country, so the percent world's water resources are only percent water resources are only 10%, but the population is 14%. That is lack of only 4%. In Europe the water resource is having 8%, but in population is 11.3%. There is 3.3% lacking. But in North and Central America it is having more than sufficient water, so there is no scarcity at all. So you see that it is having water resources of 15%, whereas the population they have only the 7.3%. So they are having more than 50% sufficient. So it is having 150% water resources than that of population. Like that, South America and Caribbean, it is also having more than sufficient in the water. So it is having the water resources of about 26%, but the population is only 6.4%. Next to Oceania, it is also having sufficient water. So these are all some the comparison of population sizes and shares of the world fresh waters among the continents, different continents. Then let us discuss about the water conservation. So know about the leakage in tape. Leaks are easily flexible, so save your water and money. So how do we conserve this water? We must know about the leakage in tape. Leaks are easily fixable, so save your water and money. Use high efficiency washers, faucets and toilets. Then run your dishwashers and washing machines with a full load. Turn off the faucets when shaving or brushing. Take shorter showers. Yes, these are all some of the methods or measures to be followed to conserve the water. Small change in our life makes much difference in the world. Care the world as mom. Save water, save earth. Thank you.